This week, we will be investigating what can go wrong with our psyche, what can mess with our thoughts and behaviors. Before we begin, let me warn you of what is often called the first-year psychology student syndrome. As we learn about disorders, be aware that it is not unusual to recognize a symptom or two in yourself. For this reason, sometimes students have a tendency to think they have a disorder, or a couple of them, or all of them. Usually this is not the case. Or they may think that they are fine, but that their sibling or friend, etc., has one or two or all of the disorders. Not a very good way to make friends and influence people, right? So you must look at the big picture of all symptoms and their intensity, duration, etc., to diagnose a disorder. You will not be qualified to do this by taking this class or any other undergraduate classes. But what criteria do psychologists use? I'm going to give you a great trick for remembering the criteria. Think this: 3 criteria, 4 Ds. Okay, the first criteria: the behavior and or thought process must be deviant. It must be outside of the norm. However, this alone does not qualify. You have a right to be as esoteric as you want to be. And thank goodness, right? Or we'd all just be clones of one another. Now, the second criteria is the behavior and thought process must be dysfunctional. In other words, it must mess with your functioning, like your ability to have meaningful relationships and to get an education and or to get or hold a job. But even this is not enough. Even if we have behavior and thought processes that are deviant and dysfunctional, that is not enough. All 3 criteria must be met for a mental disorder to be diagnosed. The third criteria is demand or danger. This is where we have 2 Ds, right? 3 criteria, 4 Ds. So demand, meaning that the client must want a diagnosis. They themselves must demand it. Usually this is the case. The client knows that something is messing with their life and they want a diagnosis so that they can get help. The second possibility, though, is if the client is deemed to be a danger to themselves or others. And this would be the court's demand. So demand or danger, right? Client's demand or the court's demand because of danger.